Let's take a quick look here at PhpVirtualBox. This is the system I'm using for all of our virtual servers in the back end of my office here. It's an open source Ajax implementation of VirtualBox. What this allows me to do is really easily run a headless version of VirtualBox in the server. Works very similar to other products out there, but it gives you a really nice web interface. If you're familiar with VirtualBox, it's really easy to install on any platform as a host, Linux, Mac, Windows, and lets you run virtualization. The nice thing about it is you can run the server completely headless now, and you can run VirtualBox headless without this. You just do everything command line driven, and it's a little bit more tedious and certainly not as intuitive to use. This is the project page, which is on SourceForge, where you can download it. I'll put the links to this in the blog post. And here's what the interface looks like running. You see you have a pretty standard looking VirtualBox. It works very similar to that. Even when we go to the settings, the same windows, same menus come up, which is just really slick, where you can control memory and everything. Creating new virtual machines works in much the same way. All the same options are there. You still load a standard version of VirtualBox from the command line on the back end to get this going. Download the software. It does need a lamp stack to run. So once you have a standard lamp stack set up and running, you go ahead and load the VirtualBox software and just unzip it into a folder that's available. I just dropped it into a folder called PhpVirtualBox 5 because I'm running version 5 of this. The only thing you need to do then is edit the configuration file, and you do need to choose the username and password. And what this does here is VirtualBox cannot run as root. It does have to run as a user once you install it, so you choose which user and give it the password on there. Real quick, there are a few other command line options in here. It actually supports arrays of servers, which is kind of neat too, so you can have one PHP VirtualBox and then point it towards all the other ones that are running. A couple other little options in here if you want to tweak some things, different restrict file types, file folder settings. I leave everything at stock. The only thing I do is put the username and password in here. Once you've done that, I'm going to switch to the user Tom's. That's what I have it installed as. There are just a couple things you need to have. Whoops. A couple things you need to have running on startup, which is having it boot the VBox web service and have it start the servers. Now I just have a script called start servers. We'll look at that real quick here. And it's just real simple for each server I have on here. I did have to add a sleep. This server boots in about 9 seconds, and sometimes it's just not ready for the servers to start and they'd fail. But if I add a sleep 9 seconds too, adds about makes for an 18-second boot before it kicks these off, and it boots fast. This is I'll list the specs in the server, but it's a hex core with 16 gigs of RAM. I'm sorry, 8 gigs of RAM right now, and a rated SSDs is where all the files are on, and it's an SSD boot. Because this server runs my business, I'm just migrating everything over to it. I only got two of my servers on there. Still got to add my point of sale system and a few other things on there. But it's really simple to use, really easy just to do any of the backups, to do any of this. We also keep another VirtualBox server hot and ready sitting at another within the same rack, but just ready in case this thing actually goes down. I could just pull from a backup, and then we have a constant file backup for any of the data changes. Allows me to keep my servers really up to date. Also, it supports any of the other features that you get with VirtualBox, which includes snapshotting to roll back to previous versions. Makes it really easy. You're going, I want to try something new on my server, so I'll create a snapshot, and if everything goes bad, I can just roll it right back. Makes it real easy to do. You can just create a snapshot for each one, take a snapshot of this, load the updates. You like them, keep the snapshot, apply it, roll it back. All the same other features that you get at VirtualBox working here. You also have a console connect, which is pretty cool. I have Flash disabled, so I had to right-click to do that, but it gives you direct console access to any of these, and I already had this logged in. Also lets you detach the console. And so if you needed direct access to any of these, you, for example, weren't able to SSH in, or you just need graphical access to it. And you can even have multiple ones open at the same time. Detach. and you can have direct console access on multiple machines. It's just a really slick system. So without having to go back to the server room, I can take and do all of this and not have to open up the rack at all. Close these. You still have all the command line options for getting things done. Okay, let's talk about backups real quick. When you have the servers up and running, I can save the state, which does stop them, but freezes them in a state, ACPI shutdown, or just force a power off. We're actually just going to do an ACPI shutdown. Now, obviously, it's easy enough to do it from here, but if you want to script it, there's the command for it. And I got the console pinned right here, so you can see how fast this shuts down. VBox manage, control VM, name of the VM, and type of shutdown you want to do. And we're doing ACPI. And it's going to detach in a second as stopped. Now, once you've got that done, backup is easy. You can go to the menus and clone it, clone the system from here if you wanted to create a complete copy of it. There are a export appliance, which is essentially the backup command where you can export this. Also creates a portable file. It's going to run through really simple how to do it, which one you want to use. It won't let you do a running one. And you can also, let's go back to the command line here, and I'll show you how to do it from the command line. You can just go ahead and I'll paste the command in here. VBox manage, export, name of server, and then the file name. I just have it storing right here into the home directory for Tom. I create it, and it automatically appends the date and time on here. I have this actually all tied up into a script that runs. So on Saturday nights, I back up all of my servers one by one to create a weekly snapshot of them. I have daily backups for any of the data on there, but this controls everything for the VM and makes a real easy restore point for them. Real simply, just run this. It's going to run through a percentage. I'm not going to run it at the moment. So I don't got time to run that script right now, as I got to have my mail server up and running. But as you can see, it's a really simple system for doing this. And you can start it back from the command line, or even just go back here and start the session. Like I say, this is just a great tool. It's really simple. If you use VirtualBox at all and you want to run a headless server and you don't want to have to buy or license one of the really expensive or more complicated virtual machine systems, this works great. Never had it crash, never had any issues with it. I just built this new one on version 5. It was previously, I started with PhpVirtualBox on version 4. Never have any errors, never have any crashing with it. It's been really solid. I'm really impressed with power outages and things like that have unexpectedly shut down all the servers, powered them back on. I've never had it hang a server. I've never had it corrupt a file. It just is really solid. VirtualBox is really solid, and of course this is running on top of that. If you have any questions, feel free to comment. If you have any tips for me on setting this up, maybe something I'm not doing efficiently enough, if you go, hey, there's a way you could do this better, I'm all ears. Go ahead and comment below, and thank you very much.